Welcome back to the Cast. As always, coming to you from the Just Hammer bunker. Today I'm here with my good partner Nick.
And I'm playing tonight against my partner Justin.
What are we bringing for this week? Are we getting back to our roots? Or
A little bit back to our roots, a little bit second edition, our second edition armies. I've got Hedonites of Slaanesh tonight. A full-on Herohammer list for Hedonites of Slaanesh, which they do well at. That was their role in second edition.
Yeah, right. Bring as many heroes as you can, stack up that depravity, and go to town, right?
It's a little bit different now, but we'll see how it goes. What do you got?
I got jealous of your Herohammer, so I had to bring my own Herohammer. It's just the battle cruiser meta. I got basically full-on Beastclaw Raiders, a bunch of Stonehorns, and some min battle line. So it should be good.
Sure. Let's get into the list.
Sounds good.
So tonight, as mentioned, Herohammer, running it in Lurid Haze, which gives me the option to deep strike a couple units. I've got Glutos, Fatakros himself. I've got Sigvald and Dexessa as melee threats. And then I've got One-Eyed Grunnock, a War Stomper mercenary, Mega Gargant. So I thought he was really good in second edition in Slaanesh. I think he's even better in third edition in Slaanesh. And his points went down while everything else in Slaanesh went up. So I think he's got some play here. Kind of minimum battle line. I've got 2 units of Daemonettes, 1 unit of Hellstriders with Hell Scourges, and then round out the list with 10 Marauders. It's an interesting list. The drawback to Lurid Haze is that the artifact and command trait that you have to take aren't very good. So I just went all named heroes. I don't have to take an artifact or command trait. I got none of them. We'll see how it goes. It should be a little bit different play experience than what I'm used to, but I'm excited about it. It's in a 3-drop, so everything except Glutos and Dexessa are going to be in that. Excuse me, Glutos and the Mega Gargant are going to be in that 1-drop battalion, so 3 drops total. Justin, what do you got?
So this week we're basically going old school Beastclaw Raiders, Ogre Maw tribes. We're bringing Boulder head. My general's actually an Icebrow Hunter. I'm doing this so that I can bring the absolute min amount of battle line with some Frost Sabers. They're the cheapest unit you can bring, and you can then still bring 4 Stonehorns. So he will actually have the Lord of Beasts command trait, which will give +1 to my movement for all my Stonehorns. Then I have 1 Frost Lord on Stonehorn that's going to have the Black Clatterhorn and the Brandisfard, which will make him really hitty, and hopefully he'll do a lot of damage from his mount. I have 1 Frost Lord that's going to have the Metal Cruncher, 1 Frost Lord that's going to have Old Granite Tooth, which, if I'm remembering correctly, gives +1 to charge for all Stonehorns with wholly within 12. And then I'm going to have 1 with, not going to remember, it's like, it gives an additional run to its hoofs attacks. Then it's going to be minimum 4 2s of Frost Sabers, wrapped up in a Battle Regiment battalion. I didn't get lower than 3 drops on 4 drops. That's the lowest I could go. The one issue with this army is when you bring so many of these monsters, it's kind of hard to get into Warlord or some of the other stuff that would give you an additional artifact or command point. So unfortunately, you're kind of stuck just going with Battle Regiment, and 4 drops isn't really the lowest. So Nick's going to get his discretion here, and I don't like what the Lord of Excess has in mind here. So I am looking forward to this game, hoping to do a lot of charging, a lot of hitting, a lot of healing. We'll see how it goes. Ready to do this, Nick?
Let's do it.
Let's have fun.
Tonight we're playing Power Struggle. We've got straightforward deployment on the long sides here. Got to hold objectives for 2 of your turns consecutively to score them, and it's going to be a short distance to get to each other, only 22 inches apart in deployment, and with the monsters on both sides, I expect things to get kicked off pretty early here.
I deployed relatively castled up. If Nick does, I left a little bit of a gap on my Huskard on Stonehorn. If Nick wants to come in, I'll allow it. I feel like I would have quite a few good counter charges there. I don't know if I intend to make any charges. Nick seems to have screened pretty well. I'm anticipating getting the first turn, but we'll see how that goes.
I set up to screen off my heroes, knowing that if Justin came in, he would only be able to take off some of my screens. Also set up to enable some Lurid Haze shenanigans, hopefully. Dexessa is out there on her own, but the charge will be relatively difficult because there is some terrain in the way. If I do give Justin first turn, and I wanted to position the Giant and Glutos such that they could get into the action if Justin does come forward. So I will go ahead and give you first turn. Good luck.
Sounds good. Good luck.
So Justin gets 2 command points here, 1 for the round and 1 for his general being on the battlefield. I don't get my command point for my general being on the battlefield because of the mercenary rules, so we each start with 2. Before the first round then, I'm going to make my roll for Lurid Haze and see how many of my units I'm going to be able to put into Deep Strike. 3 of them. For Lurid Haze, I rolled the 3, but I'm only picking 2 units. I picked up Sigvald and the unit of Marauders and pulled them off the table in Lurid Haze.
I'm going to take Monstrous Takeover for my battle tactic. I am going to choose my right-hand objective right here. And then with my heroic action, I'm going to choose to roll for an extra command point with my Icebrow Hunter. You will not get.
And I will attempt for an extra command point with my War Stomp of Mega Gargant, and he will get it.
In my hero phase, there isn't much to do. If I was within range of any lines, I could potentially do something, but at this point, I am fairly stuck on just advancing into my movement phase. So for my turn, I left my Icebrow Hunter out as bait. If Nick wants to choose to charge him, that's fine with me. Otherwise, knowing that Nick has to bring down his Marauders and Sigvald this turn, I wanted to screen off to the best of my ability to make sure that there's no easy charges for Nick. Hopefully I did that. I don't have a lot of chaff to be able to do that with. So we'll see how Nick chooses to take his turn. I completed my battle tactic. I'm not even going to bother shooting at Nick because I don't want to give him any extra depravity in exchange for a wound. And that will end my turn.
That puts you on a total of 3 victory points. 2 victory points for the turn. And we'll go into the bottom of round 1. We each gain a command point. I do lose that extra command point that I gained with the War Stomper because I never used it. So that puts us each on 3. For my battle tactic, I'm going to take Ferocious Advance, and I'm going to pick Glutos, the unit of Hellstriders, and the unit of Daemonettes. They all have to run this turn in order to complete that. At the start of my hero phase, I'm going to use the Fane of Slaanesh on Glutos. He's going to take 1 mortal wound, and then on a 2-up, he'll get +1 to hit. And he does. So he has taken 1 damage from the Fane of Slaanesh. I'm then going to designate my heroic action, also at the start of the hero phase, and he's going to attempt to heal. Try to beat his bravery. Got a 7, that beats his bravery, so he heals for D3. He heals that wound that he just took. A fun interaction there for 3.0 to get the extra depravity from the Fane.
I'm going to take Finest Hour with my general.
The Icebrow Hunter there?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Glutos has a couple spells to cast. He is not within range for either of his debuffs. He's got a first attempt Mystic Shield, and that's going to go on the Hellstriders. On a 13, that'll go off. And then he's going to attempt Arcane Bolt. and that'll go off on an 8. Got both of those. Glutos is then going to attempt to pray with Priestess de Leche, and she will fail the prayer, so he does not have his 5-up Feel No Pain. And we can then get into movement. At the end of the movement phase here, I'm going to bring everything that I've got down from Lurid Haze. That's going to be Sigvald and the unit of Marauders. I played conservatively with Glutos and my War Stomper, moving those to control part of the center of the board and be able to strike back there if there's a charge in. While on the other side, I played very aggressively with Dexessa, Sigvald, and the unit of Marauders, angling them to come in on the side and provide a distraction and hopefully some damage over on the corner on the flank. We'll see how it goes. And that's where we sit at the end of movement phase. No shooting to bother with. I'm going to charge first with Sigvald. He gets +3 to charge, so he needs a 6 here on dice, and he will get that exactly. Then I'm going to attempt to charge with Dexessa. 10-inch charge with her. And then the Marauders are going to attempt their charge. And they got double 1s. That's the only way they could fail their charge there. I am going to spend a command point to re-roll that.
Double 1s again. Let's see it.
And that their ability lets me change that 4 into a 6, so they've got a 12-inch charge all told. End of charge phase, we've got monstrous actions to do. Dexessa is going to roar at your Frost Lord on Stonehorn. On a 3-up. Got it.
The Frost Lord on Stonehorn is going to... I'm going to stop Sigvald on a 2-up. No.
Okay. Stopping Sigvald, interesting. At the start of the combat phase, then Sigvald gets to activate immediately. But before that, this has been FAQ'd a little bit. Fighting at the start of the combat phase happens after start of combat phase abilities.
I'm going to attempt to do my Metal Cruncher onto Dexessa. Is that how you say it?
Dexessa.
Dexessa. For 2.
2 mortal wounds?
Yeah.
Okay, she takes it. Sigvald then is going to pile in. And he's going to put all of his attacks into the Frost Lord on Stonehorn. He only rolled a 6 on his charge. It's the unmodified charge roll, so it's going to be 6 attacks going in there. These are going to be 2s and 3s. 6s explode because of Hedonites.
Sixes?
No, 3 1s. 3's to wound. That's 3 at -2.
This will be 3 5-ups. Need one of them.
D3 damage each. 6 damage, and they are unable to be negated.
You go again?
My first activation then is going to be with Dexessa. She's going to put all 4 of her Scourge of Slaanesh 3-inch reach attacks into the Frost Lord, and her 2 Impaling Talon attacks into the unit of Frost Sabers right here. So the Scourge of Slaanesh then is 4 2s and 3s. All of them hit. 3 of them wound at -1.
3 4-ups. Need 1 damage.
2 damage each on those.
4 5-ups. None. He's at 10.
And then the talons into the frost wolves, frost sabers. These are going to be 3s and 3s. The 6 explodes for another hit. 3s to wound. 2 wounds at -2.
They'll go straight through.
And they are 2 damage each.
Which you're doing these guys, right?
Yeah.
He will go into the Marauders.
Okay. I'm going to spend a command point on the Marauders for all-out defense.
Frostbeard. This is going to be 4 attacks, hitting on 3s. Just 1. Wounding on 3s. At -1.
-1 with the all-out defense and their shields is a 5-up. How much damage?
3 damage.
Okay.
Punches and kicks. These will be hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s. I'll be 2 at no round.
These are then on 5-ups as well. I can't use the +1 from the shields and all-out defense. Maybe
Just
1
1
of them. Okay.
Taking 10 damage, so I'm down to just 3 attacks on my rock hard horns. These are going to hit on a 4 and wound on a 3. That will be -2.
2 at -2 is going to be 6-ups. And they'll both go through.
It's going to be 6 damage.
6 damage total. That is the unit. Oh, you still get your frost sabers to attack with.
Oh yeah. So it'll be 2 attacking and 2. This will be 6 attacks. Hitting on 4s. Oh, wait. I'm going to spend a command point to give him +1 to hit.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
The -1 to hit into Dex SL.
Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 3s. Just 2 at -1.
2 at -1. She's on 5s. And she failed them both.
That's damage piece.
Okay. She has taken 4. At the end of the battle shock then, I do get 1 depravity for having a general wholly within your territory, and then the 3 depravity that I accumulated otherwise for a total of 4. And I will get 1 victory point for controlling more objectives, plus the 2 that I get for completing my battle tactic, total of 3 victory points. Priority roll then for round 2.
I will take the turn.
Sure.
I'm going to take, bring it down, and I'm going to choose Desexa. Desexa. So if I kill her with a monster, I'll get an extra point.
Sounds good.
I'm going to try to heal my Frostlord on Stonehorn. He's got a bravery of 9. I have to roll under that. I will D3 for 1.
I will choose Finest Hour for Sigvold.
At the start of my hero phase, I need to roll a dice for each unit that is within 3 of any friendly Beastclaw Raiders. If I roll a 2 or less, that unit will take D3. Frost Sabers onto Sexa. Yes, D3 for 1.
Okay.
And then my wounded Frostlord. No. I will then empty my Maw Pot, so everything within 36 will heal D3. It's just going to be the one guy. He'll heal 2 more. So he'll be at 7.
7 taken.
Yeah. Into movement. Into my shooting phase, on a 2-up, Desexa will take another wound. Yes. Into charges, my house card is going to charge. Going 7. Then I'll roll 7 4-ups to see how many mortal wounds that is. Oof. So it's just 2.
Alright, Sigvald has his 4-up Feel No Pain, and he's going to make neither of them.
I'm going to try to stop Sigvald. Will D3 for 1.
Okay, 4. Feel.
I'm going to attempt to shout at Sigvald.
Roar.
Roar. Will happen.
Got it. Dexessa is going to attempt to roar at your Frostlord, and that's going to fail.
I'm going to Metal Cruncher on the Sigvald.
Got it.
For 4.
4-ups. Made all but 1.
I'm going to put all attacks into Desexa. For me, I just feel like I need to get her off. I need to complete this battle tactic. It's no use in getting queued.
Okay. I am going to spend a command point for all-out defense on Dexessa, and she is -1 to hit.
I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack.
Okay.
Okay, the first attack will be 4 attacks, hitting on 2s. And wounding on 3s. 2 at -1.
2 at -1 are on 4-ups, and I will fail both of those.
It's going to be 6 damage.
She is dead.
So I was...
I will activate then with Sigvald. He's going to go ahead and pile in and put all of his attacks into your Wounded Frostlord on Stonehorn. It's going to be 5 attacks. They are going to be hitting on 2s with exploding 6s.
Uh-oh.
And the 2 explosions, there.
I think you had 3 explosions.
Just 2. And then wounding on 3s, wounding on 2s rather because of Finest Hour, but I will catch 4 1s there. So that is 3 at -2.
So it'll be 3 5-ups. I didn't make any.
D3 each. That is going to be a total of 7 damage.
Got him to the moon.
Hey, I'll take it.
Son of one. My Huskard is going to attack back into your buddy there. Okay. So we'll have 3 attacks. Hitting on 3s. Wounding on 4s. Just 2.
At
No run.
no rend. These are 2-ups. And I'll fail one of those.
1 damage. After save.
4-up. Takes it.
Then the Rockhard Horns are going to be 6 attacks. Hitting on 4s. 3 will go through. Wounding on 3s. All will wound at -2.
These are on 4s. Whoops. Saved 2 of them. How much damage?
4 damage because it was on the charge.
Okay, and then the 4-ups. And I will make 2 of those, but that's not going to be enough to keep Sigvald alive. He will go down.
That's going to complete my turn. I will now have control of this objective for 2 turns in a row. Take that objective off of Nick. I completed my battle tactic with the monster, so that will be for 3 points. So that will be a total... Do you get extra points for controlling them 2 turns in a row?
No, it's just 1, 1, and 1.
1, 1, and 1 plus 3. So I will get 6 points
plus you kill the monster, so you will get one more, so 7 total points. And I do get 1 for killing a monster as well. I didn't gain any depravity because everything that was wounded that turn died. So that will bring us into bottom of round 2, Slaanesh. We each gain a command point. For my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Monstrous Takeover and select that center objective. Hopefully be able to get that with the giant on there. Glutos, at the start of my hero phase, is going to use the Feign again. He's going to take the 1 mortal wound and then on a 2-up get +1 to hit. He fails to get the +1 to hit. He just takes the wound. For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to heal that wound with Glutos. I got under his bravery, he heals for D3 and removes that wound.
For my heroic action, I am going to attempt to get a command point with my Frost Lord that's sitting in the middle of the table.
Sure.
You will on a 4.
Okay. Glutos will then pray with Priestess Deloche for the Feel No Pain and fail to get that with a 1.
2 1s on a monster, that's...
Glutos is then going to attempt some casting. He's going to start off with Mystic Shield. And that is going to fail with a 4. And then he's going to attempt Crippling Famishment. And that's going to go off on an 11. And so that is going to target the your Frost Lord on Stonehorn there. Halves his movement, run rolls, and charges. Until my next hero phase. And with that, we can get into some movement.
Yeah, I'm going to redeploy. I'm going to spend a command point to redeploy the Frost Lord on Stonehorn.
Okay. After movement, this is where we sit, really pushed forward to the center of the board, getting Glutos and the War Stomper in range to start doing things. Move my Hellstriders up so they can hopefully be a screen, and I'm starting to shift forward with my Daemonettes as well, just to get some bodies off the board. Don't have any shooting to do, I'll just get right into charges. Going to charge first with this unit of Daemonettes. They do get to reroll their charges natively to their War Scroll. And so a 9-inch charge for them. Going to charge then with One-Eyed Grunnock. And he will get in with a 5, I believe. Alright, he will do mortal wounds then on the charge to those Frost Sabers. On a 2-up. Yes, D6 mortal wounds. 3 mortal wounds as well. Consequential. Glutos is going to attempt his charge. He gets to run and charge this round. That's going to be a 9. He does have a native reroll, but he will not need to use it there. And then I will attempt to charge with the Hellstriders as well, just to reposition them a little bit. And they got double 1s. They are not going to get in. So the Hellstriders failed their charge there with the 2. They do get a native reroll on their War Scroll, so I'm going to reroll that. And they're getting in with an 8. End of the charge phase, then I am going to stomp the unit of Frost Sabers there with One-Eyed Grunnock. Fails it on a 1. I'm going to start the combat phase. Once per combat phase, I'm going to use Hurled Body from the Mega Gargant to hurl that unit, that Frost Saber in front of him. And rolled a 6 on that, so that is going to go off. And then on a 4-up, he's going to do damage with that to the other unit of Frost Sabers. And that is, yes, that's going to take damage. It's going to take 2 mortal wounds. I'm going to activate first with the War Stomper. He's going to go ahead and pile in and then put all of his attacks into that Frost Lord. He will be able to get within 3 inches on the pile-in.
I'll spend all of defense.
Okay, and I will spend all on attack.
So I'm using my command point that I got at the beginning of the round when I rolled a 4-up on my Frost Lord and Stonehorn.
Sounds good. The War Stomper then gets 1 attack with Death Grip. Because of the all-out attack, these are going to be on 2s and 2s. And he does get to reroll 1s because it's against a monster. Rerolling the 1. Got it. 6s don't explode for him, unfortunately. 2 to wound, yes. That's 1 at -3.
He will be at a 5-up. Because he's a 3-up. -3 would be a 6. Passed.
Okay. And then the jump up and down attacks, these are going to be 2s and 3s for them. He does get to reroll 1s on these because of the mercenary rule. That is going to be 2 at -2.
These will be 4-ups. Oh, damage.
Those are D3 damage each, 2 of them. 3 damage total.
3 5-ups. Main one will be.
And then the Boulder Club. So the Titanic Boulder Club here is going to be at 10 attacks. That is 4 from the table, 2 monsters, bringing that up to 6. 2 enemies, bringing that up to 6. And then 4 extra for there being a monster within 3. So a total of 10 attacks. These are going to be on 2s and 3s because of the all-out attack. Threes to wound. And that is going to be 6 at -2.
6 force. All but 2.
2 damage.
4 damage. 4 5-ups. Need 1. I'll take 3 more.
Okay.
I'm gonna pile in with. I'm gonna attack with my Frost Lord into the giant.
Sure.
He's taken 5 wounds.
He will be at -2 to hit, effectively. Though that's capped at -1, of course.
So these will be hitting on 4s. No. And then his punches and kicks will hit on 4s. 1, 3. Nope. He's currently +2 to hit on his rock hard horns. They'll counter out what you're at. So he will hit on 4s here. And this is 6 at 5. It's 5 attacks. So 3 will go through. 3s to wound. 2 at -2.
2 at -2 on the giant. He's on 6s. And he's going to fail both of those.
6 damage.
6 damage.
And then the crushing hooves will be D6 attacks. Just 2. These will be hitting on 4s. And wounding on 3s. Just 1 at -1.
1 at -1, 5 up. Failed it.
D3 for 1.
Okay. I'm going to activate then with the Daemonettes. They're going to pile in here and put all of their attacks into the Icebrow Hunter. Gonna get 9 of the Daemonettes into the Hunter. That's gonna be a total of 19 attacks. These are gonna be on 4s and 4s. So these are 4s, 6s explode. A lot of 6s there. Wow. Very healthy roll. That's going to be a total of 6 6s. And then 4s to wound. Total of 7 at -1.
So you're going to be 7 6.
He's only on 5 foot. Native. Yeah. Lucky break there. Expected him to survive that. I really got more output there than I expected.
Yeah, so this will be 3 attacks, hitting on 4s.
And where are these going?
All into Glutos.
Glutos. Okay.
Is he minus?
You're -2 to be hit right now, effectively, but -1.
So 1 did not hit because they should have been hitting on 5s, 3s, 2 at -1.
Okay, these are 4s. Failed them both.
Oh, 1 damage.
Okay. And he failed his feel no pain, so he takes those 2. Piling them with the Hellstriders. Goal here just to make sure that I don't block Glutos. So I'm going to get 4 of them in, including the leader. At least for purposes of the whips, only 1 of them in for purposes of the mounts. 9 whip attacks then on 3s and 4s, exploding 6s. Got 2 explosions there, 4s to wound. And that is going to be 4 at no rend.
4 6 ups. None.
Okay. My last activation then is going to be with Glutos. And then put all of his attacks into the Frostboard there. Got a handful of profiles. The Wailing Greatblade then from Painbringer Kiazu is 3 attacks. These are on 3s and 3s. And 6 here is just 2 mortals straight through. And because of the new 3.0 rules, those don't get to also explode.
2 5-ups. None. I'll take 2.
The Fleeing Scourge then is 2 3s and 4s. Both hit. 1 wounds at no rend.
This will be 2 up. No.
Sacrificial Dagger is 4 and 3.
How many damage was it?
Just 1.
Oh, 1 5-up.
Oh. And the dagger missed there, or failed to wound. And then I've got the Crushing Claws, 6 attacks there. These are going to be on 3s and 3s, 6 explode. That is going to be 5 at -1.
Oops. 5 3-ups. Damage.
3 damage each.
9. 9 5-ups. 3. I'll take 6. Oh, you got him too. Oh my god.
Ooh. What my depravity.
Yeah.
So that was obviously a massive turn for me. Tremendous output from both Glutos and the Giant. I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at here. Especially if I catch this priority roll, I feel like it's just kind of done going into 3. But we'll see what we can do here. I do collect 2 depravity. Glutos is not wholly within the territory because it is only an 11-inch territory, so I don't get an extra depravity for him. That brings me up to 6 depravity. Priority roll going into round 3. And you have the choice.
I will take it.
Sure.
You get to remove.
Sure. So that's going to put you on 1 command point.
Yep.
and I'll be on 3. At the end of that turn, for victory points, I did kill a monster that turn, but I had already gotten my victory point for killing a monster for the round, so I don't get another one there. I do control both of these objectives in my home territory for the second round in a row, so I'm going to get a total of 3 for objective points, and then I did complete my battle tactic, monsters takeover, so a total of 5. I will then go ahead and remove this objective over here.
So I'm going to take Broken Ranks. I'm going to pick the unit of 10 Daemonettes.
Sure.
For my heroic action, I'm going to take Finest Hour on my Huskar down Stonehorn.
Okay. I'm going to attempt to heal Glutos. And with a 9... So, Glutos actually, because of the Aperitif ability under the Grand Gourmand, which gives +1 bravery to mortal Hedonite units within 6 inches of this model, including himself, his bravery is up to 10 because of that, so he's going to heal D3 instead of just 1, but it's 1 anyway.
I don't have anything to do in my hero phase. I will move into my movement phase.
With that, I am going to redeploy those Daemonettes. And this redeploy here is really more to build them into a little bit better screen than to really get them out of harm's way. I don't think I can get them out of harm's way, especially with just 2, but I can spread them out a little bit more to block some impact hits on his charge.
So I'm just moving my guys into position. I'm hoping that for the most part I can do a lot of charge damage and then get my attacks into mixed heroes. Shooting with on a 2-up, yes, they'll do 1 damage to the unit.
1 damage to a Daemonette. They are killed. It's 1 mortal wound, right?
Yeah. And then a charge, because he's old Granite Tooth, I will get to add 1 to this charge. He rolled an 8, which won't really matter. Right there. It'll be 8 4-ups. This time it will do 5.
5 more wounds?
Yep. Then I'll attempt to charge with my other Frostlord. 7. He will do 7, 4. That will just be 2.
Okay. Consequential there that I did not make my prayer for the Field of Pain for Glutos, so he takes those 2.
At the end of my charge phase, I am going to stomp the Daemonettes. No, I will not.
And your other Frostlord.
He is going to shout or roar at Glutos.
Goes off. Glutos is roared. My War Stomper here is going to Titanic Duel your Huskar on Stonehorns.
So I am piling into Glutos. I'm going to put all my attacks. How many wounds does he have left?
He's got 15 wounds left.
And he's on what's it?
3 up.
Okay. I'll put all my attacks into Glutos. Is it minus?
You are currently -1 to hit. Okay.
So the Frost Spear is going to hit on 4s. And wound on 3s. It's going to be 2 at -1.
These are 4-ups for Glutos. And I'll make one of those.
That's going to be 3 damage.
3 damage, okay. Again, failed that prayer.
And then 3 attacks, hitting on 4s. That will be 2. And wounding on 3s. No run.
3-ups.
2
of them
damage.
both. 2 damage each, or
No,
2 damage?
just 2 going both.
Okay.
So then he'll have 6 attacks with his rock hard horns. These are only going to hit on 5 though. Oh, I got 4, which is pretty good. And wound on 3s. 2 at -2.
5s. Made one of them.
That's going to be 4 damage each.
4 damage.
And then this will be d6 attacks for 1. Hitting on 4. No.
Okay. He has taken a total of 12 so far.
So yes, how many are?
6. Okay. I will then activate with my Mega Gargant here. Gonna pile in just like this and put all my attacks into your. Sure. That's the Huskard, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I am at +1 to hit because of the Titanic duel.
Yeah, I'll spend a command point.
For all-out defense?
Yeah.
Okay. So then with the Titanic duel, I've got 1 attack with Death Grip. These are going to be on 2s and 2s, rerolling 1s. It hits. It wounds. Rend -3.
This will be, he's currently +2 to save, so this will be 5 up. No. Damage.
D6 damage. It's going to be 5 damage. The jump up and down are going to be 4 attacks at 2s and 3s. That is going to be 1 at -2.
This will be a 4 up.
D3 damage. 2 damage on that one.
That's
And then the Boulder Club, he's got 2 monsters right there, so he's going to definitely be at 10 attacks. So this is going to be 10 attacks from the Titanic Boulder Club because of the monsters in range. These are going to be on 2s and 3s. Threes to wound. That is going to be 7 of them at -2.
Hold on 1 second. I owe 7 5-ups.
Oh, Amulet of Destiny, right?
No, he's just, so I saved 3.
Stonehorn.
Yeah.
That's so 7 at -2.
He's doing 7 4-ups. All but 1 damage. 2.
2 damage each.
These will be 5-ups. He's at 6.
Sure. And the hurled body won't be useful here.
Okay, so all my 1-inch attacks will go into the Demonettes, and my 2-inch attacks will go into the Giant.
Sure.
So am I -1 hit on everything, or?
You're currently -2 to hit.
Okay.
-1 because of the jump up and down from the Gargant, -1 because of 12 inches of Glutos.
Sure. His punches and kicks will hit on 4s. And wound on...
These are the Daemonettes.
Yeah, 4s. 2 at Norrin.
5-ups. Made 1.
Just 1 damage.
Okay.
These will be 4 attacks hitting on 5s. These are into the Giant.
Did you fail to kill the Daemonettes, or do you still have more profiles?
I still have more.
Okay.
And then these will hit on 2s because of Finest Hour. Both go through at -2 run.
They'll be 6s.
It'll be 8 damage.
8 damage total.
And then this will be D6 attacks and the crushing hooves. God, 1. That's not good. So we'll hit on a 4. No. Oh my god. Those crushing hooves let me down both times.
That failed to kill the Daemonettes?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, you both of yours have activated then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And only my giant has. Daemonettes are going to put their attacks then into your Huskard. Total of 7 attacks here. These are going to be on 4s and 4s. That's going to be 1 at -1.
This will be 3 up.
And then I will go ahead and attack with Glutos. Pile in ever so slightly. Just touch himself onto the objective. So Glutos is going to attack in. He's lost a couple of his followers, so he's just got Painbringer Kiazu, and then his Crushing Claw attacks. So Painbringer Kiazu, 3 attacks. These are going to be on 3s and 3s. Just 1 hit, and failed to wound there. And then the Crushing Claws, because of where he's at on the table, only 4 attacks here. These are going to be on 3s and 3s. Just 1 hit, and that is 1 at -1.
This will be a 4 up. Damage.
3 damage.
3 5-ups. Need 1, 2 go.
So that's the end of activations here. The Daemonettes have not dropped. I'm going to spend the command point here to keep the Daemonettes alive, to deny the battle tactic. I think that's more important than trying to fish and save the command point. So they will remain on the field.
I will not get any points this round. I control 1 objective. I do not control more than you. I did not complete my battle tactic. And yeah, I'll keep playing though.
Okay. I did rack up a tremendous amount of depravity there. Total of 5 depravity that turn. Brings me to 11. For my battle tactic here, I'm going to select Bring It Down and target the Huskard here. For my heroic action then, I am going to do Finest Hour on my Mega Gargant.
I'm going to do Finest Hour on my Frostlord on Stonehorn.
Makes sense. Hero phase, Glutos is going to attempt to cast Dark Delusions on your Huskard. And that's going to go off with a 6. And now I have to beat your Bravery on 2 dice. And I will do so on an 11. So everything gets +1 to hit against your Huskard there.
Okay.
For his second cast, Glutos is going to cast Mystic Shield. And that's going to go off on a 10. And he's going to put that on the Mega Gargant. We are in the bottom of round 3, and we can get into movement. In my movement phase here, I decided to play it safe. Moved Glutos out of combat where he's in danger. Going to keep my War Stomper in there and push him up a little bit so that it's unlikely that Glutos will be taken off this turn. Hopefully next turn I'll then be able to swing in with Glutos, maybe get him healed up a little bit if I do get the double here. And just going to take the fact that I have control of the objectives and milk some points out here. I do have 1 charge to make with the Daemonettes. They're going to get in on a 7. End of the charge phase, my War Stomper is going to Titanic duel your Huskard.
I will. Titanic duel is just +1 to hit, right?
That's correct.
I will Titanic duel with my Frostlord on Stonehorn, and I will roar with my Huskard. No.
So I'm going to pile in here with the War Stomper, put all my attacks into the Huskar, try to take him down. That was my battle tactic, so hopefully things go well here for the Giant.
And I'm going to all defense with my Huskar.
That brings him to 3 up, right?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, first up, I've got Death Grip. This is going to be on a 2 and 2. That is 1 at -3.
This would be a 6 up.
D6 for 5.
5 ups. Yikes.
And then the jump up and down, these are going to be on 2s and 2s, +1 to hit because of Titanic Duel, +1 to wound because of Finest Hour. So 2s and 2s, re-rolling 1s, that's cocked. Re-rolling the 1s.
Why are you... Oh, that's right, because he just gets that.
Yeah, so 4, Grunnock One-Eyed gets to re-roll his 1s. And then that is going to be 3 at -2.
3 5 ups. You didn't make any?
D3 each. That is going to be 6.
6 5 ups. He is going to die.
Okay. And then the Boulder Club attacks are wasted, but feel pretty good about that.
I'm going to attack with my Frost Sabers. This is going to be 6 attacks, hitting on 4s. And wounding on 3s.
Yep. Then my Daemonettes obviously will attack back. They're all in. That's going to be a total of 21 attacks. I'll pile them in a little bit. Just get a few more onto the objective. That's going to be 21 attacks. Hitting our force. And the 6 there explodes. Wounding on force. Got a total of 6 at -1.
Pass those. I will put all my attacks from my Frost Lord into the Giant. He is -1 to hit, but he's +1 from Titanic Duel.
He's actually -2 to hit.
Why is he -2?
Glutos and the War Stomper.
The Glutos or doesn't go down.
No.
Okay. And what is it?
12 inches.
Okay. So he'll have 4 attacks, hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s. It's going to be 2 at -1.
Alright, with the Mystic Shield and Finest Hour, he's at +2, so with -1, these are going to be 3 ups. Past 1.
It'll be 3 damage.
3 damage.
And then punches and kicks, this will be 3, hitting on 4s. And 3s. Oh, I'm sorry, this should be 2s. Just 1 at no rend.
1 at no rend. That will fail.
Just 1 damage. He'll do 6 attacks with his Rock Hard Horns. These will hit on 5s. Two go through, and this will wound on 2s.
Now, effectively, you can only be -1, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 1 at -2.
1 at -2, he will make that.
And then D6. 4 attacks. Hitting on 4s. Wounding on 2s. Actually wounding on 1s, but that doesn't matter. All 3 go through at -2 run.
-2, these are 4s. Made them all.
Alright, with that I'm going to call it.
Sure.
I have 1 guy left.
I'm going to score a ton of
Yeah.
points here.
Honestly, I think it comes down to who had the first turn. Like, me just having to give you first turn, and I don't know. I couldn't screen well.
There were 2 fights where I barely killed what I was going into.
Yeah,
and that definitely changes the complexion of the fight, especially in Gur, where those things can fight a top profile for command point. Your Boulder head, you can fight a top profile for command point. So even though they're wounded, they're massive threats, they still get all their charge damage. So the 2 situations, one was Sigvald, and then one was Glutos in your Stonehorn. Both of those, if they break the other way, maybe change the game.
Yeah. I felt good after probably turn 2, but the fact that I wasn't able to pile away, like I tried to pile away with my, a couple things didn't go my way. When I tried to redeploy, I only rolled a 1. I needed to do better just to get away from the giant. And then I thought I could pile, when I piled my 3, I thought I could get out of Glutos' range with my best Stonehorn, and I just let him in.
Just barely.
By like a millimeter.
We measured that a couple times.
I couldn't do any better than that. And then over here when we did these attacks, I maybe could have... I was so nervous about leaving to Sexa with even a wound left. I probably should have spread my attacks a little bit. But it's one of those things where if I fluff, then I don't get my battle tactic and I'm left reeling that way.
The battle tactics put you in a position... They always do this. They put you in a position where you absolutely need to do something, even if it becomes strategically bad during the course of the round.
Yeah.
Which gives an interesting strategy. I like that element of them, but it can make for some very awkward turns where you end up having to overcommit to something.
I think this is definitely like the best kind of Slaanesh build you can do with hero heavy, light on bodies, because the bodies are just too expensive.
Yeah, and I think One-Eyed Grunnock is potentially the best Slaanesh unit right now.
Yeah.
Which is strange to say, but he does so much for his points cost. He costs 50 points more than a Keeper of Secrets, has 21 wounds more than a Keeper of Secrets for those 50 points, and does comically more damage.
The crazy thing to me about One-Eyed Grunnock is he's way better than a War Stomper.
The fact that he has that bubble of -1 to hit.
And the rerolling 1.
And the rerolling 1s against monsters. Both of those things are really nice. And -1s to hit don't stack anymore, except when you can cancel out all attack with them. Or cancel out something like the Stonehorns War Scroll +1 to hit. Then you start stacking up those -1s to hit with Glutos and the War Stomper. He becomes a difficult thing to shift. A giant in general, -1 to be hit, becomes a very difficult thing to shift. It's a lot of wounds.
He's far better than just a regular War Stomper, other than the fact that he doesn't count for as many wounds.
Yeah,
or as many, yeah.
But he does count as 5 models on an objective now because he's a monster, whereas before it was 1.
Yeah.
He does cost you a command point in the first round, but that's not as big a deal as it used to be, and it's certainly not a very big deal in the first round, where you're just kind of feeling each other out, and if you're going second, you're getting 3 anyway, so it's down to 2. I really like him in Slaanesh.
Yeah.
I really think
he's
got
great.
Nice. Glutos, I think, is solid. Didn't see a tremendous amount from him, but his melee output that one round was really good.
It was strong.
Dexessa, obviously a weak point in the list.
Yeah.
She's just so expensive for what she does. I love the model, and I love the idea of the model. I love the War Scroll, honestly. Everything on that War Scroll is great.
How much more expensive is the caster?
The caster is about the same price.
Isn't that one better?
The caster doesn't offer a whole lot. It's a 1-cast wizard with no casting bonuses. And yes, there's some very valuable spells in that lore, but you're paying an awful lot for a 1-cast wizard. There are some matchups where that caster becomes insane. If you're playing against things with very high movement, she can board wide, use the Pavane of Slaanesh, get some real mortal wound output on that. Against something like the Severith, she's absolute MVP against Severith. Probably wins the matchup against Severith. But in general, she's a one-cast wizard with no bonus and a poor melee profile. Tough to justify the caster or Dexessa right now.
Yeah.
If they were both in that 200 point range instead of the upper 200s, close to 300 or 280 points, then there's probably a case to be made for both of them.
Yeah, they're just too pricey. What should it be then? Like, what is, if you're building this list a little bit more competitively, what do you switch her off for?
Oh, if I was going to drop Dexessa, for those 280 points, a Chariot would fit in pretty nicely, because then it can gain your command trait and it can gain your artifact. Contorted Epitome slots in probably the best. You give it flaming weapons, your command trait, your artifact, it becomes a fairly good damage output critter with some really significant riders. I mean, its defensive profile is relatively weak, but it has some abilities that make it, when you hit those 4-ups, make it really difficult to shift. It can't be activated on first if it hits a 4-up, can't be piled in on if it hits a 4-up. In this matchup, maybe not as consequential that it shuts off pile-ins, but it is a very useful ability in a lot of matchups to shut off those pile-ins.
Sure.
So the Epitome, I think, is just a straight upgrade for this army. I do like Dexessa's ability to get up the field, make contact with the enemy, turn 1, the 12-inch, and then being able to, for free, spend a command point to give herself the 6-inch run, and then run and charge, so 18 inches plus the charge range. She can get up there and fight along with Sigvald, along with the Marauders that are coming in and Lurid Haze, and I like that aspect of her in this army. Just doesn't do enough.
So the Marauders are only brought because they can hit a charge from 9 out pretty easily.
The Marauders there's a really cute trick. It doesn't really work out in this matchup because I'm not going to be shifting something with Sigvald, but if you can get Sigvald into something that he kills, he activates at the start of the combat phase. And then your first activation could be the Marauders. So Sigvald can get into something, do his damage, hopefully remove something, and then the Marauders on their pile-in can pile in out in front of him. So he then has this screen in their backfield. Sure. It's a neat little trick. Doesn't really work out in this matchup. But really the Marauders are in this list because they cost 90 points. And there is nothing in Slaanesh that is less than 135.
Yeah. The Demonettes actually hit pretty hard tonight. Like,
they do. They don't have bad output. You know, they're what we used to consider a pretty decent battle line unit. On their 4s and 4s, exploding 6s is effectively equivalent to +1 to hit. If you math it out, it's more spiky, but the output is the same as +1 to hit. So really you can think of them as 3s and 4s, 2 attacks each, 1 rend. It's not a bad output profile. Yeah. They're on a 5-up, so they essentially have no save in today's meta, but their output's pretty good.
Yeah. The Frostlord, or the Frost Sabers, are such a tax. At 55 points for 4 wounds, they're horrible.
You'd really rather bring no battle line, right?
I mean, they're so bad. And the Icebrow Hunter is just brutal, but if you want to try to bring 4 big guys, that's the only way you can do it.
You could drop one of the Frost Lords to Stonehorn Beast Riders, right?
That won't even... I don't even know what it would really get you, though. I mean, that would save you...
It just counts one of your battle line, so then maybe you upgrade the... I don't know how the points work out exactly.
So you could save... You get 100 points back.
And you could pull 110 points off in battle line with your 2 Frost Sabers. So 100... So you're at 210 points to spend then with your battle line.
You won't get anything good.
Well, you won't get anything good, but maybe a Butcher. Maybe a caster.
Oh, sure. I think the biggest problem with this is just not being able to effectively screen.
Sure.
The caster would be nice, but what you really want to be able to do is screen and counter charge because the Frost Sabers can't take any, they can't take any beating.
Interestingly, that brings your drops down by 1, because the beast riders then become troops.
Yeah, you could go to 3.
3 is, I think, a big break point. I think there's a lot of lists that are coming in at 4 and 5 drops, and if you can get in at 3, you sneak in under a lot of them.
It's just really hard to have multiple monsters unless something comes out in like a Maw Tribes book that can get them low. They really want to be low because their first turn. I mean, what are you going to do? Charge them in the screens?
Right. And then take the double back.
Yeah.
Potentially.
So you sit back. If you don't have it for the second turn, you sit back and you wait, and then still the screens just move up.
Yeah. You're still coming into screens.
You can maybe do a little bit better, but
anytime you can catch a double with them, then you can charge into those screens and do a ton of work.
Right.
But
so you get the chance for the double, and I mean, if I would have came across the table turn 1, there's a very good chance I don't even get in on some of my charges, and then I'm just in no man's land.
Yeah, you've got some long charges to make then.
Yeah. They were more. I don't know if I didn't roll well. They were more fragile than I anticipated. Like, I thought that it would definitely. I thought that guy would definitely survive Glutos's. Now, you hit pretty well with Glutos.
I did hit pretty well with Glutos. And
but you didn't hit.
You whiff your saves pretty hard.
Yeah, my
Glutos is really
not.
Glutos is at a -1 on his crushing claws, and I don't know if you made 1 of those, something like that.
So I think you got 6 through. I probably did save 3 because I think there was 9 damage, but I only then saved 3. Well, that was about average. I don't know. I think you rolled especially well with those crushing claws. That was the big issue.
I've only got 6 attacks, so if I got 6 through, I mean, obviously with the exploding 6s, you can do that. But yeah, I think I spiked something like 3 6s on one of those. Don't know if I'm remembering the right one, but
yeah, it would have just helped to be able to potentially heal him. The nice thing about the Maw Pot now is because it only has to be inside your thing. You can usually refill it. I didn't get a chance to refill it. That would have been nice.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. If this felt like a good list for you, especially once the One-Eyed Grunnock got involved. He was really strong.
Yeah, I think that's probably the secret sauce is One-Eyed Grunnock. I think you may be the linchpin to Slaanesh right now, which feels strange.
-1 hit is just great.
Good game, Justin.
Yeah, good game.
Thanks for watching, everybody.